not pay a single penny. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, were we having this discussion in 1807, when Britain abolished the slave trade, I would absolutely be in favour of that happening. And indeed, of course, we saw the Anglican Church at that time making reparations into the Caribbean period. But it's not 1807, it's not even 2007. Over 2 centuries have passed since then. And we're talking about the great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren of slaves, 7 generations removed. And nobody has been able to effectively demonstrate to me in what way the modern population of the Caribbean have been disadvantaged by slavery. Now, in Alberto's report, they constantly draw comparisons with life expectancy in the UK compared to the Caribbean, with the GDP per capita in the UK compared to the Caribbean. A completely bizarre comparison. The real comparison should be with West Africa. And if you look at places like Benin, for example, which is, of course, where most slaves come from, life expectancy in Benin is 10 to 15 years shorter than in the Caribbean. The GDP per capita in Benin is $1,300 per year. It's over 10 times that in the majority of Caribbean nations. So in what way have the lives of the people today been disadvantaged by slavery?
We've seen the Dutch king apologise for the Netherlands' role in this shameful, shameful episode in human history. Do you think King Charles should now be apologising for Britain's role?
Nobody today has the right or ability to apologise for the sins of the past. You know, it goes back to biblical times. The sins of the father should not be meted upon the son. The apologies should have happened in the 19th century, and they did. Prince Albert in 1840 made an abject apology and was vociferous in his condemnation of slavery, and in fact was a leading voice. It was the first time that the monarchy ever became politicised on an issue, was in supporting the anti-slavery movement. That was the time for it. It's been done. It's not healthy. It's quite nihilistic, actually, to constantly browbeat ourselves. Britain has more than paid its debt for slavery.
Has it really? In all honesty, has Britain really paid its debt to these countries?
Not only did it spend 40% of its annual GDP in liberating the slaves, it expended vast resources through the Royal Navy.
But that was money that went to the slave holders.
But the realpolitik was, if you wanted to get that through Parliament at the time, that was necessary. People have to realise you have to deal with what you have on the ground. But also, let's remember that the Royal Navy ended the international slave trade, including seizing American ships. The vast amount of resources that were spent on that, actually, many people think was equal to or greater than the profits made from the slave trade.